This morning's guest has had columns in 7 different publications, but she refuses to be called a columnist. Find out why, coming up next on All American People. Good morning. Welcome to All American People. This morning we're at Villa Romana Italian Restaurant, the 5-time winner of the Italian Restaurant of the Year. We're focused on photojournalism, and we're visiting with Dr. Hilda Merritt Carter, a photojournalist with the Myrtle Beach Herald. Good morning,
yes,
Hilda.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming in, Dr. Carter.
Yes, a little early.
It is 7 a.m. here. Of course, we kicked off the week with Ronaldo Montrose, the executive chef and co-owner here at Villa Romana. I think you were here last Friday, past Friday, for a dinner here at Villa Romana with a big group and had a lot of folks. I hope that dinner was a good time.
Oh, yes. Food delicious.
As always.
And you know what I always order.
Oh, yeah, the lasagna. You had that on Friday night? That is amazing, Hilda. And of course,
nobody has to ask me. They just know when I come.
All week long, kicking off the week with Ronaldo. Yesterday, we had a former Myrtle Beach Herald reporter and a profiler, Paul Gable, a U.S. Navy veteran, a 10-year veteran, who is actually now the editor of Carolina Weekly and the Veterans Herald, doing some exciting things. Tomorrow, Jim Beaudry will be with us, the executive vice president and manager of Myrtle Beach Funeral Home and Crematory.
Right.
And then, you know, this week we're wrapping up the week with another doctor who like you, I don't think's a medical doctor, Dr. Larry Biddle, one of the members of the Board of Trustees there at Coastal Carolina University, an educator who also, like you, am I correct, you're not a medical doctor?
Oh, no. I think where I got that from, the doctor, was being able to when people needed to have research money for anything, there I was. Writing about it. So that's where that came from.
Promoting a multitude of folks, not only here in Horry County, but also throughout the Southeast, really throughout the country. To think about folks you've highlighted both through your columns as well as through everything you've done. Coastal Carolina University recognized you with an honorary doctorate, which was a very exciting time. I remember, of course, I arrived, unfortunately, a little late to the event, along with John Conkle and his girlfriend at the time. We stayed up. It was a hot day. We stayed up in the box up there watching you all down on the field sweating like heck. Everyone down there on the field. And I think you received the doctorate there with Doc Latchcott that day from Pawleys Island, and with Clay Britton Jr. One of the founder of Myrtle Beach National, and the sea captains and all the great properties down at the beach. There were some other great honorees that day.
I can't remember.
You can't remember who they are. Not
who
to put
they
you
are
on
right
the spot,
now.
But, that was,
but I remember Clay so well because he was on the walker and I was on the cane.
You had a cane and he had
a walker.
Oh my Lord.
So we were the only cripples there.
Well, there were a heck of a lot of folks there that day.
Wasn't it?
What was that like, receiving that honorary doctorate from
and
Coastal?
To look out there at all those wonderful
young
people.
Folks. Lots of young folks.
And the thing I thought about was, you know, I'm on the board of Beach Music Association International. Which also I'm on the board of the Hall of Fame from the university. We have it there for
Beach Music Hall of Fame. Right.
And I looked at that and I saw all those people. I thought, oh my heavens, I hope they're beach music people. Because that helps us when we have our money raiser.
Oh, Hilda, very definitely. You have been a beach music aficionado for many years. I want to talk to you more about beach music, but I also want to ask, here on the screen listing for you today, we've got obviously Dr. Hilda Merritt Carter. We also have photojournalists, and of course a lot of folks think about you as a columnist, doing around town for the Myrtle Beach Herald, formerly the North Myrtle Beach Times, formerly the Star News, formerly Alternatives News Magazine.
Well, actually, no, they won't. When I was with Star News in Wilmington, I was a journalist. I mean, a photojournalist.
Okay, right.
Because David Brinkley is the one that got me in the newspaper field.
You mean the David Brinkley?
David,
oh, come on.
Yes, that's who I studied under, and he was
right?
great. Yes, yes. And he told me that he felt like that with my photography and with my writings that I could do a really great story and put it in pictures and writing form. And so I thought, well, who's crazy? But it worked. It really worked.
Now, was this, Hilda, originally, not to date you or even to date David Brinkley, but was this the column you did while you were in, was it high school or even the Teenage Tatler?
Yes, I was in high school.
So you were a high school student writing for the Wilmington Star News. That's incredible.
And it came out on Saturday. On Sunday.
Your column came out. So
I wrote,
So that was photojournalism right in the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And that's what he wanted it to be. And he explained to me, I asked him, I said, why am I called that? I thought I'd be a columnist like the rest of them, like when I wrote for the school paper. He said, no, you're using pictures and the photographs and you're using your writing. So you're a photojournalist. You're not only showing them and you're telling them. So that's the way it went. And that's the way I always thought. So that's why I think with the Myrtle Beach Herald, I have always been a photojournalist.
Sure.
They might not have put it there, but that's what I was.
Where did the love of photography come from, Hilda? Was there someone outside of David Brinkley? Was there someone that really got you falling in love
I
with
got
photography?
really more into photography when I met Jack Thompson. I was down here in Myrtle Beach. I wrote the Miss Sun Fun pageant.
Okay, for the Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah, for the Chamber of Commerce. And also, I was assistant director to Hannah Block to the pageant. So I met Jack. He was the photographer for the,
Wow.
And we met, and I got really, really more interested in the still photography than I did in the movie photography.
Right.
It just seemed that you could do so much with it, much more than you could with the movie. Because the movie tells you something,
right?
But it's like playing a piano and playing an organ. A piano, it really takes talent to do that.
Right.
Organ, you can learn really easy, but it is hard to play the piano. And I play by ear, and it's a little easier for me because I already know the notes before I hit them.
Right.
Because I hear them. And that's terrible to say. You lead with your ear. So, but the thing about photography, there's so many interesting things that you can do.
Sure. So you really tell a story even with still photography, obviously highlighting movie photography or moving pictures, tell a story just by the movement there.
That's right.
Obviously weaving in still photography to tell a story is a powerful thing, and you think to some degree that was fueled by Jack Thompson. You mentioned Jack Thompson.
Yes.
We've got to make sure and let viewers know
I
that...
think I learned more about photography from Jack than I did anybody.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow. Jack Thompson later, that fueling of photography passion fueled in even more passions as y'all expanded your photography relationship there into a...
Yeah, and also we had 6 kids.
That's right. Okay, so into a marriage, and then into raising kids together. And of course, you're one of your sons here, one of your 3 sons.
Yes, he is.
Jackie Thompson, who is named after.
Yeah. And it was so funny when y'all were talking about Houston. My father's name was William Houston Merritt, and my brother's William Houston Merritt Jr.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and when I heard that name, Houston,
my wife,
I thought about that.
Formerly Elizabeth Houston Holmes, now Elizabeth Holmes Everett. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Houston, or as her mother says, Houston. So Houston,
a lot of people call my father Houston.
Is that right?
But most of them called him Houston. So I mean, It was just like he said, just so they called him to eat.
Just so they called him on time, yeah, so he could get to the
to the table.
Meal. That is amazing, Hilda.
It
Well, of course,
is.
Jack, kind of the unofficial historian of Myrtle Beach, will be with us here on All American People, who's been a guest of ours in the past on Carolina People.
Oh, yes.
The show which I do want to share with viewers, obviously you and Donald Smith, our director here of All American People, were instrumental in kicking off Carolina People back in August of 2002.
Gosh,
you know, it's incredible to think
long?
back. We're almost, we're 8.5 years ago.
I know.
We kicked off Carolina People. Our first filming, actually, that whole week was up at the PD Area Council of the Boy Scouts.
Yes.
At that time, we used to do 3 guests a day, so we were there all week long filming 15 guests. Then even the next week, we were back in Florence, highlighting some of the amazing men and women of law enforcement and paramedics, and we were at a fire station there in Florence leading up to 9/11.
I know.
The celebration of the 1 year, or not celebration, just the recognition of the 1 year anniversary of 9/11/2001, which was a powerful time. And of course, to think about all that happened over the 3 years of Carolina People, then taking a little hiatus and then getting back to another almost 2 years.
Yeah.
We've taken a little hiatus and gotten a new sponsor, All American Cities, and have relaunched now just this week. So we're thrilled, of course, knowing that you and Donald were instrumental in helping to kick off the show. And now Donald and you and Lissa, my wife, have been instrumental in helping to re-kick back off this new show with a new sponsor. So
I know.
I want to publicly thank you again for helping encourage me to do this, because it is a great way to share.
I told you that some years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You were talking about, I don't want to do it.
Right, sure,
I
the
said,
fear of getting on
air.
air.
It's the easiest thing you'll ever do. If you like to talk, you love talk shows. That's the truth, too.
Well, and it has been. It's almost easy. You know, Lissa was talking to me last week about trying to prepare for shows and doing it last night to get ready for you. And I said, you know, I just got to get up in the morning and get ready for Hilda.
I know.
Get ready for Hilda.
You know, to me, a talk show is really one of the best shows on television today, because you've got so many different people that you're interviewing and you're finding out about. And it's not like something that's fixed, because this isn't. This is something that you just talk about.
Oh, yeah.
And you sit and make, you know, and that's why I love talk shows.
Well, you know, the fascinating thing is a lot of folks are watching this now on the internet. They're seeing this interview. It's not January 12th right today.
No.
It's another day here in the future, and they're seeing this on YouTube or any other vehicle on the internet. But the other fascinating thing here in our viewing area, where WFXB, Fox TV serves these 8 counties in North and South Carolina, South and North Carolina, to think within this viewing area, there's a heck of a lot of amazing all-American people. But here at 7 a.m., it's tough during a year to only be able to pull out 260 people, people equally as fascinating as you and Paul and Jim and Ronaldo and Larry. Each week, there's a heck of a lot of folks in the viewing area, and everyone has got something of an all-American sense that they can share with viewers. It is, as you say, just as easy as getting on and sitting down to talk for a little bit.
And it's wonderful, too, when you get on the internet.
Right.
That is the...
Oh, like your show, Cruising the Carolinas, which was very, very
And you know
popular.
what was... Every time I think about that show, it's so funny. Governor Jim Hodges, you know, he was moving around, and I'm following him to go everywhere he's going.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so funny when the highway, the Veterans Highway, was finished,
Highway
and they were going to open it up. Well, he's standing out in the middle of the road, and so all the other photographers and the people were standing over to the side. I just walked out there and punched him.
Jim Hodges.
Yeah,
No.
I said, Governor Hodges, I'd like to interview you about
for Cruising the Carolinas. Now, that was both on the internet, but also some of those you aired on TV. On Fox TV.
And half,
some of those you aired.
And he looked at me and he said, do you ever sleep? He said, I see you with a camera or a microphone. He said, when do you rest?
Yeah. And how'd you answer
and
that?
I've always thought that that's why he gave me
you
that
the Silver Crescent Award,
Silver Crescent
which
Award.
was such an exciting thing.
It was, and it was a shock to my nervous system.
Now, you knew about it